If you've what? If you have gone to the gas pump lately and done this, oh my gosh, you are not alone. I think every single person in the country, in the world, is probably feeling that way right now. My sons did it just the other day. We were driving by and my sons were like, oh, diesel is over $5 a gallon. I know the price varies depending where you are. Here in my area, non-premium, regular, unleaded gas is sitting at about $4.30 a gallon. I do remember many, many years ago when our budget was very, very tight and gas hit about $3.85 a gallon and filling up my minivan cost in excess of $80. It was painful. So in today's video, let's talk about what those numbers really, really mean and what you can do to help relieve some of the budget stress. I think the first thing to do is eliminate the fear and panic. Okay, so that is what we are going to do first with my good old friend, math. So let me grab a calculator. I will use my area as an example because it is what I know and it is where I live. So gas in my area has been running $3.60 a gallon for approximately the last year or so. We'll call it $3.50 just for fun. $3.50 a gallon for regular unleaded gas for the last year. It is currently, here where I live, $4.30 a gallon, which is an increase of 80 cents a gallon, so not quite $1. Now you need to take into account two things. Number one, how much do you actually drive every week or every month? And number two is how many gallons does your car need to fill up? My car is an 18-gallon tank. So at 80 cents extra times a complete fill up of 18 gallons is an extra $14.50-ish. Now for me, I actually don't drive that often. Dave commutes to work on his bike. My kids ride the bus. So we do very little driving in my house. So I would say I would fill up my Pilot twice a month. Like, it's definitely not once a week. For me, the extra $14.50 turns into approximately $29 extra a month in my budget. So someone that commutes a lot for work, their costs are going to be up significantly. But for my kids to look at the gas prices and go, oh my gosh, look how high they are. I had to sit them back and be like, hey, actually, it's really only about $30 extra a month in our budget with these gas prices and our driving habits. Now, obviously, your family situation might be a little bit different than my family situation, but a $30 increase isn't that high when you take into account other ways you can cut your budget down to account for this increase. The first thing you can do, I say this all the time, is to cut your grocery bill. You just cut out a thing here or there. Maybe you stop going out to restaurants 3 times a week and you go twice a week. Maybe you don't order lunches out. Maybe you take leftovers. Maybe you make sandwiches. Maybe you do a vegetarian meal once a week and you cut down on the amount of meat that you're eating. All of these things could help balance out. I don't think it is so bad that you're going to need to consider a $50,000 electric vehicle. I'm hoping that what I'm doing right now is eliminating the fear. Yes, it is higher. No, it is not a complete crisis at the moment. Something that you can do that's a touch more extreme is to maybe rethink the vehicle you are driving. So if you have like a huge honking pickup truck and you don't tow horses or do construction or something like that, like you don't need the truck or you don't need the big Suburban or something like that, getting a more fuel efficient car like a commuter sedan or something, if that makes sense with the weather in your area, I think that's a great option. Dave had this little tiny Chevy when we first got married and that sucker got 40 miles to the gallon. It was amazing. And as we have a second kid coming up to start driving now, we are actually looking for a smaller car situation for the runaround stuff that the kids do for their activities, so we can get a little bit better gas mileage. And I think that is a wise choice as far as fuel costs. My second tip is, how much are you driving? Now, if you commute to work, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, except maybe carpool if that makes sense for you, public transportation if that makes sense for you. Like, some areas don't have that, so that's not gonna work for everybody. But what you can do is eliminate unnecessary trips. So instead of like running out to the store because we forgot garlic, running to the bank over here one day, and then tomorrow running over here, and then the next day running over there. You can assemble all of your errands together at one time and kind of like do it all in a day in a circle so you can get everything done in one trip and not create unnecessary trips. How many times did I just say trips in that sentence? I've frequently lived in places that were very, very far away from any kind of grocery store, any kind of Walmart. Back in those ancient days, Amazon really did only sell books. So you couldn't get anything you wanted delivered. I tried to only drive like into town about once every 10 days because I couldn't afford to fill up my minivan much more than that. So I was very strategic about the places I was going to go, what I needed to do, my grocery shopping, my meal planning, so I didn't have to go out more often than that. So just consider the amount of driving that you're doing, what you're doing it for, and can you consolidate some of these errands? Now, when it comes to cutting other areas of your budget to make up for gas price increases, food increases, things like that, maybe your property taxes went up. That happened to my friend recently, so she had to make some cutbacks as well. I've got some more tips for you for that. But first, let's thank today's sponsor, Upstart, because if you have some high interest debt in your life, this is an easy way that you can cut your budget. First of all, we need to get rid of that debt. Second of all, we need to lower that interest rate. So if you are looking to pay off credit cards, consolidate your high interest debt, or fund personal expenses, Upstart might work for you. Over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart knows that you are more than just your credit score, so they do consider other items like your income, your payment history. You can check your rate without impacting your credit score in just 5 minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000, and you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/FFM. First link down in the doobly-doo below. That's upstart.com/FFM. Don't forget to use my link down below so they know that I sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/FFM. Thank you to Upstart, and let's go back to more budget saving tips. So like I mentioned, a friend of mine had her escrow account go up significantly because of property taxes. One of the many downsides to the huge real estate increases that we've seen in the last 2 years. So for her, I asked her what they were planning on doing to cut back. And she said they're gonna cut way back on their entertainment budget. So if you have a cushy, floofy entertainment budget, maybe look at that. I know they always liked to go out to movies. They liked to do concert tickets when they could get them. Going out to eat was a fun family affair, and all of those things are being cut back significantly. They're not going to be going out to movies anymore. They're going to be renting movies at their house and just streaming them at home. She just went to this IMAX and saw the new Batman. Have you guys seen the new Batman movie? I saw the funniest meme about Robert Pattinson was the worst vampire ever because it took him 14 years to turn into a bat. Dave said it was a really nerdy joke, but I got it. Anyway, they went to go see the Batman. She said for like her and her husband and her daughter, it was like $50. Clearly, you know, renting a movie off of Amazon for $2.99 is gonna be way more budget friendly than going out to the movies. Let's talk about crazy vacation cost increases. Now, the cost of rental cars is through the roof. Plane tickets aren't that bad, but I have noticed a lot of hotel rooms, rental cars, excursion type of things are very expensive. So maybe instead of traveling and doing a Disney trip or something, you could do a staycation and research the really cool things that your area has to offer. I guarantee no matter where you live, there is something cool there. If you like to do clothes, makeup, hair, nails, eyelashes, whatever it is, stretch out those appointments a little bit. Maybe instead of getting the fake eyelashes that you have to go to the salon for like every 2 weeks, consider doing them yourself. I have a friend that totally does them herself in her own house. Stretch your haircuts from 8 weeks to 12 weeks. Maybe see if you can have your makeup last just a little bit longer and do your nails yourself at home. You can save so much money. You could look at all of your subscriptions, all of your streaming things, and see what it is that you are paying for that you don't use that much. I just went through mine and I was able to eliminate like 4 monthly charges that I was like, why am I even paying for this? I'm not using it. It does not provide value to my life. Even if it's something as small as $5, what a waste of $5. That could be a night out at the taco bus. This one is gonna be super interesting because it's not about saving money. It's about making money. I have seen recently that cutting your $10 a month Netflix bill and maybe your $5 a month Amazon Music subscription equals only $15 a month. And while that can be helpful, it can be more helpful to bust out a side hustle, start an Etsy shop, mow lawns, babysit in your home. There are so many side gigs that you can do that will earn you way, way more than the $15 to $25 a month savings. And what's really awesome is if you combine those together, you can really crack your budget wide open and make some major changes. Gas saving tips I wanted to add. If you have a membership to a Costco or a Sam's Club, one of those huge box membership stores, they have by far the cheapest gas anybody that is out there. They sell the gas on purpose at a loss so they can get you to come into the store and spend your money in there. They have done interviews and articles admitting that. So if you do have one of those membership cards to either store, go hit them up for your local gas. If you have the app Gas Buddy, I have been using that app for 10 years. They will list out the cheapest gas stations in your area. Try and pick the cheapest gas station without driving too far out of the way, because then that counterbalances what you're trying to do. If you shop at a grocery store that has gas rewards, like any Kroger owned store, they will give you a cents off per gallon based on the amount of money that you have spent in the store. What I do is I try and do like 2 cars at a time when I redeem. I try and fill up like as many cars as possible up to the 25-gallon limit. If you frequently get your gas at the Walmart gas station, we used to do this all the time. If you go inside and purchase a gift card, and then use the Walmart gift card to pay for the gas, they'll give you 3 cents off a gallon. I realize it's not that much, but at this point, doesn't every little bit count? Feels like it does to me. My goal here was not to have you panic about gas prices and money. My goal is to help you feel better about your plan moving forward. So if you have other tips on saving money on anything in anyone's budget, leave them down below in the comments for anyone else to go check out for more assistance. I wish you well. I've always been a big fan of cutting down the budget so we can do more fun things. And I think being aware of gas prices and things like that can be very helpful in that goal. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.